This is 7.1, part 2. We are multiplying and dividing. This is our first division problem. I do suggest that you factor everything first. There's nothing in here to factor because there's no additions or subtractions anywhere. So for our division rule, keep it, change it, flip it. I'm keeping the same fraction in the first spot, change it to multiplication, and then flip our second fraction. Now, one of the things I've learned over the years is that it's very, very easy to make a mistake when you're reversing a fraction. It's an easy step, so our brain leaves this for a little while, and it goes on autopilot and it makes mistakes. So be careful about that. It's worth the extra second to make sure you have not made a mistake when you're doing that. So let's start reducing this. It's a multiplication now. I can cross cancel all I want to. I'm going to look at each fraction first. There's going to be a lot of cancellations here and it's going to get ugly, so I'll probably stop midway and start and recopy what I have and then keep going. You can reduce up and down, you can reduce on the diagonals. Now I see I have a z5 here, a z to the 5th power here, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel those out. Since they match perfectly, I'm going to get rid of those. Now look on this diagonal. I have a z to the 4th, I have a z squared. Well, I have 2 here, I have 4 here. So these 2 cancel out 2 of those and I have 2 left. Okay, let me recopy what I have now. I have 9z squared over 3 times 5 over 3. So that's where I am right now. Now right here, I can cancel out the 3 and the 9, right? If I divide this by 3, I get a 1. Divide this by 3, and I have a 3. Now look on this last diagonal. I have a 3 and a 3. So divide that by 3, it's a 1. That's now a 1. So all I have left in the top is 1z squared times 5. So 5z squared. The only thing I have left in the bottom is a 1. So this answer is 5z squared. Okay, this is a similar problem, but we are going to have to remember what this means. This is one of our power rules. It was property 3. If you have an exponent on the outside, it gets put on each one. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this by doing that. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So this is 8t cubed over a negative 6. Now let's keep it, change it, flip it. There's no addition or subtraction in here, so I don't have to worry about factoring. Keep the first one the same. Change it to multiplication, flip the second one. And there we go. Now I'm multiplying a positive thing and a negative thing, so I'm definitely going to get a negative answer. So make sure you don't lose that. It's very easy to do. So I'm going to start cancellations, and I'm looking up and down first. The 2 and the 4 reduce. If I divide that by 2, I get a 1. Divide this by 2, and I get a 2. Here I have 4 t's, here I have 5. 4 of these cancel out 4 of these, and I'll have 1 left, which is the property where you do the subtraction. 5 minus 4 is 1. So that goes away, and I only have 1 of these left. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for this first one right now. What do I have left? I have a 2 in the top and a t in the bottom. Let's look at the second fraction. Negative 6 and 8. I can divide both of these by 2. If I divide that by 2, I get a negative 3. Divide this by 2, and I get a 4. So I have negative 3 over 4t cubed. That's where I am right now. This one is reduced, this one is reduced. Let's look on the diagonals. Here I have a 2 and a 4. I can reduce that again. Divide this by 2 and you get a 1. Divide this by 2 and you get a 2. Now this doesn't reduce at all. I cannot reduce straight across. So what do I have left? 1 times -3 over 2 t times t cubed, that's t to the 4th power.